Hello, I've been asked to do a little video about tension issues, particularly with the Singer machines. I have a Singer Future XL 400, which I love. Sometimes I get looping. I get a lot of looping with poly threads for some reason. I don't know why. With rayon threads I get a lot less. But there are various things I can do to eliminate the threads. Firstly, I stitch between 4 and S on my machine. We've got the E here, and I move it that way to give me a better tension on the top thread. So that's the first thing I do. Secondly, I'll show you where I have my thread route. I've got my thread stand here with my thread in, and the thread comes across, and I've got a spare bobbin stand in with an empty bobbin, and I put the thread round that, and then I come across in front of the bobbin winder, across and down into the machine as usual, and then down. I've tried using thread nets, and I found them to be awful because I personally didn't like them. They lift the thread up. Sometimes it pulls the thread so much that it gets too tight and the needle can break. So I personally don't like thread nets, but you may. So that's what we do. Now, the other thing I say is with the poly thread, because it tends to loop more, we all know that the heat can shrink the poly thread a bit. So what I do, and I'm not saying you should do this, this is what I do. I use one of these barbecue lighters, and when I finished, I light it and I skim very quickly over the stitches, really quickly. And it does shrink some of them back. I've tried using the iron, it doesn't work. But yes, it certainly helps them shrink back. The other thing I have, which I'm not over keen on, is a snag nabbit pin. We call it slightly different over here. We've got a magic needle, we call it, and so on. But basically, you've got a smooth end, and then you've got a rough end, and you put the smooth end in next to the loop, pull it through, and as it goes through, the rough end pulls the thread through. It's quite a thick pin, as you can see, so it does tend to leave a hole. So I'm not convinced by it, I must say, and I use it as a last measure. With rayon thread, skimming it over with a lighter doesn't work because it doesn't shrink back. I just try and pull it through from underneath. The other thing I do to help with the top tension is I start my stitching. I'm going to put my camera down and hope this will work because I'm actually on my thing. So I start my stitching, do a few stitches, stop, and then what I do is, oh, excuse my fingers going there, I release the lever, come to the top, get the thread and pull it, and that, there's a lot of loose thread in there, and honestly it makes a huge difference. Put the lever back down, carry on stitching, and that also helps eliminate nesting underneath. Really makes a big difference. That is how I sort out my top tension. I hope if you try it, it helps you, but it's really resolved all my issues. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon with another video. Take care. Bye.